We are assembling the 50s car slice. So I've got everybody here sorted by where their pieces go, which parts they are. And we're just going to start here with the car. So I tried to make the pieces as big as I could because I know. So, I mean, the steering wheel, that's small, obviously, but you don't have to use it if you don't want to use it. So I'm going to start here with the grill. And it takes these 4 pieces. I just filled my bottle, so it's got some air pockets in it. Ugh. So you don't want to use too much glue. You don't want this oozing out. And you just really need enough just to stick these pieces behind. It's pretty early here, so I'm just not as dexterous as I usually am. Got up early to get these out early for this sale. So I'm just putting glue here on the wider centerpiece. There we are. So there's your grill. And then for the headlights, I think I'm going to use my tweezers. Let me find those real quick. I'm just going to put a very small piece of glue because I don't know how many of you have worked with foil paper before, but it can really make a mess if your glue oozes out all over your foil, and then you'll lose your shiny effect that you wanted because you got glue. So you just need the smallest dot. And even that tiny dot oozed out a little, so I'll try to put a little less here. There we go. So I tried to make the car as few pieces as possible, but still have it be identifiable. It's a 58 Corvette. I hope that that relates well for the car buffs out there. Now I'm going to do mine. I'm leaving just a sliver of red across the top so that you can see that there's, you know, the hood. I had a whole bunch of other details that I had to eliminate as I started cutting it out because pieces were just so small. Now your windshield already has the piece cut out for the rear view mirror. The rear view mirrors on this car were mounted to the dash. So that's how I interpreted that with these pieces. That gives you one less small piece to deal with. There is a small hood here. I'm just going to ink this a little to help it stand out. Normally I just use black on red. And then you're just going to put this right up against the windshield and just center it like so. If you want to use your steering wheel, again, you just need the smallest amount of glue to hold these small pieces on. There. That just goes like that. So you could just leave that off if it's too small, if you don't want to mess with it. And then this, and I put glue on it already, so let me hold this over here to see, because you have your end points here. I just want to make sure it lines up correctly. Okay, there we are. So there's our front of our car. Now we're just going to put this on the slice piece. I don't know if you can tell my black paper, I don't know what happened to it, but it's gotten curled. And you just want to line that up. And that is the front of the car. So then I was deciding, you know, how do I want to make the insert? And I got the idea to make a character. So we're gonna, you want to cut this piece here out of flesh, otherwise he won't have flesh colored hands. And then we're going to put his pants on. And I hope this isn't too cutesy for the men in your life, but we've gotten multiple requests for files for the guys. And I was trying to come up with something, but still stick with my style. So this is what I came up with. So this piece here is the t-shirt. And you just put that on wherever you want the t-shirt, you know, to wind up. And then we're going to put this on. You want to put this on before you put on his head. Or I guess you could, if you want his collar to be up over his face, it looks like from here that would look okay. There's what it's going to look like with his face on it, but you know, the greasers sometimes had their collars up, so you can put that on in either order, really. I'm just going to put his eyes here behind his head and add his hair. My inspiration for this guy was James Dean, of all people, even though I gave him black hair. I was looking at Route 66 and I was thinking, well, what could I do to make a more guy-oriented card? So I'm going to put our signpost here together. In your file, the red piece will be solid, and then the blue piece will fit on top of it. That way it'll give you a lip to push against with your letters here to get your letters straight, because I was trying to think, how can I make sure, you know, that everybody can get their letters on straight. And since you'll have that edge, because the blue piece will be higher instead of level with the red, that will help you line up your lettering for route. So that is a difference in your file, and that's the reason I made that difference. It's just to help you line up your word. And I'm gonna, where are the rest of my letters? They're sticking to my hand. I'm gonna put my first and my last letter on. And then line up in between them. Hopefully I've left enough space. And if you're noticing, I am touching the little blots of glue that I put on there, because that helps it to not ooze out. And really these just need to be tacky to stay. I want to line these up. Yeah. Make sure I'm spacing it well. So even my fingers are already tacky and everything's sticking to me. There. So there's, you know, a little bit of paper piecing, but I don't think it's too bad. I mean, I wouldn't want to give up any of the detail in the car. So the last piece on my slice cards, I fold the tabs back and I glue them. So I'm not going to glue this back piece on yet, but your lines in the road are cut out when this is on here. You see that? But I need to put on the tabs first. Now, if you're not going to glue yours down, you can go ahead and, well, you won't be able to use that back piece. You will have to glue these down first before you can put that back piece on, unless you want to trim it to not go over. For me, I feel like having at least the back glued to your slices helps the card stay together. And that's why I do it. I'm going I just want to make sure I get that folded good and that it's level. Having the white, I guess you could use yellow, but your sidelines usually aren't yellow on the road. Also gives you your journaling panel, so you've got a nice big space that you can write a message on. And that's typically what I use this back piece for. It amazes me how much less paper this type of card takes. I know I hear people saying, oh, I have lots of scraps to use, and it's just odd to me because it has the same amount of detail, but I guess just not having a base really saves on the paper usage. So then that just goes on just like that. Okay. So now we can flip that over and we've got our road to go behind us. And I'm going to, I didn't cut very clean. I'm going to mount my Route 66 right back here. You could use some foam tape. I would advise you to be careful. It might make the back too heavy. It should be okay. There's quite a few layers on the car, so I think, but you know, you're going to need several. I don't even think I have my foam tape over here. Oh, I do. I have a new package, so you can see how my foam tape comes. I get this at Dollar Tree. I don't know if it tells you how many squares you get. It doesn't tell you, and it is photo safe and acid free, lineagen free, so it's not gonna change the color of your paper, which is nice. And it doesn't tell you how many squares you get. But for $1.25, we all know that foam tape can be very expensive, so that's a good deal. And again, you know, just be careful how much foam tape you use. I'm only going to use 2 squares because you don't want to overweight the back, as in your card won't stand up. Let me put this in here because we are done gluing. And this is the width of the back. So this card is an A2 for anybody who's wondering, if you hadn't seen the description yet on our website. And you just slide them in. Make sure you're level. It should be flush with the bottom. There we are. And there is the 50s slice card. Thank you for joining me. Oh, I just show you real quick, you know, how these do just pop over and fold flat. Have a good day.